Chuck Todd is reacting to Republican praise of Donald Trump right after the tax cut bill. He's a little surprised by it. I'm amused by his reaction. I don't want to beat him up too much over it. I'm glad that he recognizes Trump's problems. But anyway, let's watch it and then I'll tell you what I think.
We're a week removed from the president dividing the party disgustingly in half at times over Roy Moore. And yet, the words that were used to describe the president today by his fellow Republicans, extraordinary, exquisite, a miracle, one heck of a leader, makes this presidency great, the greatest in generations or maybe ever. I think that was,
I did not hear broad-shouldered today, my personal favorite.
Mitch McConnell, extraordinary accomplishment for the Trump administration, exquisite presidential leadership. Wow, I am surprised at how much they didn't just hug the president, they went all in.
Yeah, so look, bless his heart for pointing out what those Republicans have said and putting them on the record. So overall, good segment. But I guess I'm surprised at his surprise. And that's what frustrates me about a lot of the television coverage. The Republicans don't have principles. Just let it go, let it go. And by the way, it's not a partisan thing. Most of the Democrats who take donor money also don't have principles. So I know you guys think they're having a debate. They're not having a debate. Bob Corker said that he changed his mind on the tax bill after taking a long walk. Maybe after taking a long check, but not a long walk. So the fact that they give these guys credence is what surprises and amuses me after all of these years. Chuck, they're gonna do what their donors say 100% of the time. And by the way, it's not just my speculation, and it's the Princeton and Northwestern did a study. They studied 1,800 policy positions over 20 years, and this was even before Citizens United. It was after money started entering politics in 1976 and 1978, Supreme Court decisions, Buckley v. Vallejo and Bellotti. After that, corporations poured money into politicians through campaign contributions, eventually independent expenditures, and all the different ways that they got them this money. And then the politicians did what they were told to do by the people who wrote them their checks. I know that that continues to be a shock to people on TV, but everyone else in the country gets it. 93% of Americans say that politicians, not partisan, politicians serve their donors, not their voters. But so I am not at all surprised that the Republicans, after going, oh, this Roy Moore thing, I might play well in Alabama, but I might lose a couple of votes in Illinois or wherever I am, so I'm gonna say no to that. Now turn around and go, yes, the historic, wonderful Donald Trump. Why? Because this was their #1 priority. It was their donors' #1 priority. They were going to kiss Donald Trump's ass on this no matter what. I mean, if they were gonna have moral qualms with Donald Trump, wouldn't they have already had him? I mean, you're really surprised that they have no principles or no ethics? That's amazing to me. By the way, the other part of this that's important is that the Republican base hasn't really moved. They have the same issues. In Alabama, they peeled away, Doug Jones peeled away a tiny percentage of the Republicans, and it was enough for him to win by 1.5 points. But look at the numbers here. Alabama Republicans voted for Moore 91 to 9%. He still got 91% of the vote, let alone the fact that he's an insane conspiracy theorist who now thinks the Muslims might have stolen the election in Alabama. What? And he's a child molester, and he's all those things, and he still got 91% of the Republican vote. So those senators think, well, my base is a bunch of knuckleheads. They'll vote for me no matter what, especially if Trump's on my side. And I'm not a child molester, so I'm going to win easy, okay? And my donors are going to be thrilled. So please, look, it's a good segment. It's good to point out that the Republicans are completely hugging, completely on the side of Donald Trump. But that's been clear all along, because this is the one place where they're all lined up. Both Trump and those Republican senators serve their donors. You have private financing of elections, they work for private interests. I hope you liked that clip of the Young Turks. If you did, I got great news for you. We got a whole show online for you guys. You can get it by becoming a member, tytnetwork.com/join.